Hey guys, my name's Mary Lily.
I'm Marshall.
And I'm Caitlin.
And we're the hosts of Unveiled Opinions. Three newlywed girlies with a podcast on any and everything wedding related.
Happy Monday, girls.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. How's it going?
It's good.
Good.
It's not storming here anymore. At least where I am, the sun is out.
I know. It actually looks nice. Not like it was terrible earlier, but I'm just ready for something to get rid of all the pollen. I never had allergies until like literally 2 years ago. And now it's like I'm sneezing all the time.
Everything is yellow.
It's disgusting.
It is. Connie's getting groomed.
Oh, yeah. I feel like the dogs are yellow.
Because he's white, so he's like yellow now. And he's just like gross looking. So he's getting groomed tomorrow. Thank God.
That's good. Yeah. I blew off the back porch on Saturday.
Can you tell?
Yeah. Sunday morning, I went outside and I was like, this is disgusting. It doesn't look like I did anything.
I know. It's like the weather's nice, so you want to be outside, but then it's like everything just has a yellow powder coating on it.
Yeah.
Gross.
Literally let the dog out. I touched the leash and my hands were yellow.
It's somehow like all in my car. I don't know.
I had an open house this weekend because we're trying to sell our condo, and like trying to keep the porch clean in between.
Oh my God.
Was so annoying. And I'm like, what do you want me to do at this point? Like, there's pollen
it's
everywhere.
Spring. Yeah. But I guess since it is like, that is like one of the things that in your little write up about your condo is the outdoor space. So people probably want to see it.
Just look from afar and don't look too closely.
Yeah. Don't go out there with a white glove or anything.
Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, gosh, like the spring housing market. But then I was like, it is got to be such a pain to like keep up the outdoor areas.
Yeah. Because not only the indoor, but also the outdoor.
I think that would be more annoying.
I think so too. Because there's nothing you can do about the weather.
Yeah. Spring pollen, revolutionary. Well, good. Well, we are wrapping up our series.
The gifting series.
Woohoo, finally.
Finally. I don't even really remember when we started this. And I think I shouldn't remember because it feels like it's been a while.
It does. It feels like we've covered a lot though. So
yeah,
that's good, I guess.
Hopefully all of your questions have been answered on anything wedding, gifting, party related.
They should be answered at this point.
Yeah. If they're not, like, email us, I guess, but it's probably a very odd scenario. So we'd love to share it on the pod.
Yeah. Very specific.
We love a niche story.
We do.
But today we are going to talk about welcome bags, which is definitely something that I feel like is a little newer over the past several years. However, also seem like they've become a little like mainstream.
I feel like they were a thing a while back, and then maybe they had like a little hiatus or something, but they definitely are, if they are making a comeback, we've noticed.
We've noticed. Yeah. We're seeing it.
We are.
So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how it just sets the tone for the weekend and is a good way to like show appreciation for your guest. And then we're going to cover some of the logistics because I know, Mary Lily, you especially had to navigate that. And that can make it just another dynamic and a little tricky.
Something else to think about.
Of course, because you don't have enough.
Always.
So would you say that welcome bags are necessary or a nice to have at this point?
I'd say a nice to have. It was nice to have like a snack when you're hungover or like running from event to event or like a little more information. But I mean, I think that's really all.
Yeah. Like I agree. I think they're nice to have. It's a nice like personal touch. But if you can't do it for whatever reason, like I think it's totally fine.
Do you see there being a difference between like a welcome bag, so like a nice to have, but then if it's a destination, do you think that changes it?
Like super destination, you mean? Like,
I don't know either. Either way, both.
Okay.
I think it's like more of a thing if it's a destination. Like it's less of a thing if it's a hometown wedding because everyone's staying at their own house.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. And then it's like, what are you really going to tell people? Like if you put any information, if it's hometown, you can probably just put it on the website at that point. So yeah, I feel like it probably is more of like a destination wedding thing, especially like if you have like hotel blocks that people are actually utilizing.
Mm-hmm. And if people are like, everybody is having to travel.
Exactly. So it's not just like some people get them, some people don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was something that I hadn't really considered either. What do y'all see as the difference between a welcome bag and a wedding favor?
Well, like a welcome bag is like kind of like I feel like you're pre-wedding, like you get there, like it's like, it gives you information. Sometimes it gives you information for the weekend or like, if it is destination, like stuff about the town or like little like treats and stuff like that. And I feel like wedding favors are just, they get left a lot too. I feel like they can almost be an afterthought, like the wedding favor. So like you're just checking something off a list, like off the box. So I feel like welcome bags are more like personalized almost.
Right. I think it could go either way. Like, I think, but yeah, a welcome bag is like to welcome you there. It's there when you get there. And I feel like it's a lot of stuff for like convenience or for the weekend.
Yeah.
Like, or they try and make it themed like that. Whereas a wedding favor can be a lot of times random and maybe thing like people don't want. Our wedding favor were pencils that looked like cigarettes and like matches. Like, it can be whatever, though. I feel like wedding favors at this point, it doesn't have to be like a big thing.
Yeah, it can be as little or as big as you want, probably.
Yeah, the wedding favors are kind of more about the details. Like the matches, I feel like, Mary Lily, that was important to you. Whereas, the welcome bags, it's
like a kickoff to the weekend.
Yeah. Who typically gets a welcome bag?
Wouldn't it be everyone who's coming?
Yeah, or all of your out of town guests, I think.
Yeah. It's mostly the out of town guest. And so like if you have a hotel block, those are, which again is otherwise, how would you know?
Yeah, that's true.
That was kind of one of the issues with ours was like, we got everyone who's staying at a hotel. My mom was really good about asking people. I wasn't because like I had way bigger things going on than like
huge
figuring out where people were staying. A lot of people had Airbnbs and stuff. So I was like, where's your Airbnb? I need to come drop off some welcome boxes. Like I probably like should have, but it was like a lot. We had to go to a bunch of hotels that we didn't even have blocks at.
Oh, wow.
And people have fees per box, how much it is to deliver them at the hotel.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I didn't realize, Mary Lily, that you delivered welcome bags to people who were not at your hotel block.
Yeah. Well, my mom figured out like what hotels people were staying at. Like we didn't have a hotel block at the Grand Bohemian, but we knew a lot of people were going to stay there. It just like cost money to get a block there. And like, they wanted us to commit to, all these numbers.
It's a lot.
And they were like, okay, well, if you want 10 rooms, but you then need 11, we can't add an 11th. And I'm like, okay, you're like just making this way too complicated. Like, people want to stay here, they can stay here. And it didn't even give you a discount.
So it's like kind of pointless for a block. Yeah.
So like we didn't do one there, but I mean, it's a hotel that's like super close. So we did like know people who were staying there. And then you just like went to the front desk and like told them the people's names.
Yeah.
What did you put in your welcome bag?
We did cheer wine just because I like a soda when I'm hungover. And cheer wine's like a local North Carolina soda or Coke, whatever. And it's just really good. Then we did shortbread cookies, which are like our favorite brand. We get them from Reed's all the time. Then we did Sour Patch Watermelon, which is like one of our favorite candies.
That was my favorite.
And what else did I do?
You had, I think, Advil packets, because I also remember that in the planning process, Matthew was taking those for personal use.
Yes, we did that. And
did you have like an itinerary?
Yeah, we did an itinerary. And we like, it was fun. Like I designed like a fun sticker for them. That we ordered all of the stuff to my house and like all the boxes, all the ribbon, all the stickers. And then we put them together at my house. And that was like our biggest mistake because like, we put like chips in there too.
Mm-hmm.
It was just really snacks and like Advil and stuff. It wasn't like crazy, but we should have just brought it all up in like the 8 boxes it was in instead of like putting it in the individual boxes. And then they were like, I was like, you can't stack them, Dad, because there were these heavy cans in there.
Yeah.
So it was like just like terrible to transport them, and they were getting messed up. But
because you had really pretty like fancy boxes.
Not that fancy.
But like you're right, you can't stack them though.
Yeah, it's called a gable box.
Yeah, but like you can't stack those at all. You're right, in the car. So
So it was like kind of stupid because it's like 80 that we had to like just like flatly place in the car. And so thank God we had like friends up there, and my parents drove them up before, and they stayed in a friend's guest house for a while. But then like again, we had to transport them even to the hotels. They were terrible to transport. So I don't know. Just think about
a lesson learned.
Think about the logistics there.
Also, there's this company called a Signature Welcome. And there are a bunch of actually companies that will help you put together your welcome bags. I mean, I think it costs an arm and a leg.
Yeah, but if that's something you want to invest in, like there are people that will help you.
Right.
It's nice to know. We were going to do them, but no one stayed at the hotel that we had a block at. And it was the same thing. Like everyone was in Airbnbs or like scattered throughout. And I was like, I don't even know how I would get these to these people at this point.
We had a bunch of extras. I was eating like cookies out of there for like 2 weeks after my honeymoon.
The cheer wine was my fave.
We only delivered our welcome bags to people who were at the hotel blocks.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of people who stayed at other hotels or got an Airbnb. And my mom was like, we can't, like, there's only so much we can do.
Yeah. Unless you're like tracking down where people are staying. Like, I don't know how you would.
Yeah.
Well, Charlotte's also so big. Asheville's like pretty small. And like, so it wasn't as hard.
Right.
It was like Charlotte, and you were having to go from like uptown to like South Park to like Plaza Midwood.
Yeah.
It's too spread out for all that. No.
Charlotte traffic too would have been a nightmare.
Oh, no.
For my father, that is, because that was delegated. It's very funny that my mom was like very specifically gave that task to him. Yeah, we did really similar of like just we did waters, liquid IVs, and then snacks like chocolate covered pretzels. Kyle loves Twizzlers. So we had like a pack of Twizzlers.
What else did I have in mind that I can't remember? Was it not another candy?
It might have been. The one thing that my mom did put in there, she put like a little Charlotte, because we got married in December, was a Charlotte Christmas ornament.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she found those up in the mountains. And so, but she like fully wanted to take the welcome bags, and she would like ask me for input on like decisions, but she was like, this is my thing. This is like
her project.
My welcome. You know what I mean? Like I'm paying for this wedding, and this is the tone that I want people to have set. And so I was like, all right, you do you.
Have at it.
Yeah.
One less thing you have to do.
Well, thinking about welcome bags that you've either like yours, not that you, I guess actually we did have one in our room, but weddings that you've been to, what are some things that you feel like gets used versus what gets tossed?
I mean, I think definitely like the Advil, liquid IV, stuff like that's great. I've had like water bottles in them before. Water's always nice.
You always want a beverage in it.
Yeah, you always want. I feel like the food is always, and the food and like the hangover essentials always gets used. I'm trying to think of like ones I've had. I feel like they're usually just pretty like snack forward. Like that's what
really appreciate though the itinerary.
It's nice to have.
Yeah, just because like I forget, and then I'm either pulling up the wedding website every 2 seconds.
Yes, getting a text,
freaking out, or and I look it up, or like go back.
When you're traveling and if you don't have good service, it's like, what am I supposed to do?
It's also nice, like if you're getting married on a property that's like gated or something, like to, like if you have any special instructions on parking, stuff like that. I feel like any information you can give to your guest is helpful. So,
yeah, the information. I always love the food.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because when you come back and you're like tired and like possibly a little drunk, it's nice to have a little snack in your room.
Or you're like checking in and you either like just got off the plane or you were in a car ride and it's like, oh, like a little snack, something different than what I picked out. Well, where would you say that you should save versus spend when it comes to the welcome bags?
I mean, I feel like the whole thing could be, unless you're using one of those services that Mary Lily was talking about, I feel like the whole thing kind of can be a save just because, like, I mean, you're not like, I feel like the ornaments, that was a special touch for sure. Yeah. But that's like not something that like you have to do if like, it might be a little out of budget or something. But yeah, like we've talked about before, like liquid IVs, individual packs of Advil, water bottles, not going to break the bank. Like you can save on those things.
Well, also you cannot do it.
Yeah. Yeah, like you don't have to at all. But like if you want to, it doesn't have to be like super, like you don't have to get like super personalized like boxes or whatever. I have seen those obviously on Pinterest and they're super cute, but like you could save on packaging, stuff like that.
Yeah, I do feel like the packaging is an area that you can save on because I feel like what you see on Instagram a lot is like
extravagant,
very picture perfect.
Yes.
And it's beautiful. And it looks great.
I just think packaging is so expensive. So how would you save on it?
Well, if you could just do like those little, like, depending on what's in your bag for sure. Like if you just wanted to do like, if you bought in bulk from like Uline or something, you can get those like craft bags. Like if you want to just do like a certain color and then tie a ribbon on it, like you wouldn't have to. I feel like boxes are typically more expensive.
The boxes are so expensive. My mom did gift bags and she did like
tissue,
nice ribbon on them and like a gift tag and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would say that's where she saved.
Yeah. I feel like packaging is, you have to probably do a little more research maybe on where to get it. So it's not too expensive.
And the dollar store always has wrapping stuff like you can get tissue, like paper from there and that kind of stuff.
So true. Like you don't have to go to Michael's or any of that stuff. And like sometimes I feel like Michael's does like jack up the prices on things like that. So,
or if you're doing Michael's, like buy it online and then go to the app because there's so many online coupons.
Oh, I know. Yeah. They really do.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're a true like destination wedding, getting on an airplane, you can't do boxes necessarily. I mean, unless you just didn't assemble them and did them when you were there.
I wonder if you could get them shipped there. Like to your planner.
Yeah, I feel like that would be something to deal with your planner. Like,
because I feel like that might be, you don't want to have to like check bags of welcome bag stuff. Yeah. I feel like for that, maybe check with like your planner or like the venue or something like that and see if you can get stuff shipped there so you don't have to.
Maybe like the hotel could just put something in every room and you just pay extra for it or something.
Yeah, I think you can do that.
I think you can too. Which is actually, that reminds me of one of the destination weddings that I went to. The mother of the groom owned like a Lily Pulitzer store. And so we had Lily Pulitzer, like big bags in all of our rooms and like all of this Lily Pulitzer stuff and then like candy and everything. So, I mean, I guess if you wanted, because it was a destination wedding at the beach. And so she, like the thought was like, oh, you need maybe an extra bag to be able to bring to the beach. And that was also, I feel like, part of like the favor, I guess, if you will. And so if you were doing something like a true destination wedding, you could probably maybe loop it in to a favor gift or something like that.
You're doing it at a hotel and the hotel can do it for you. And it's like kind of cheap. Like, that's so nice. That's like one less thing to stress about.
Literally. Yeah. And they probably make it just look so professional and everything too. So
right, but one hotel we were staying at, since we didn't have a block, I think it was like $25 to deliver it, like per person.
Oh my god,
per person?
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Who knows how expensive it would be?
Yeah,
that's insane. That was one question that we had submitted. This bride did disclose that she felt like she was overthinking the welcome boxes and bags.
Mm-hmm.
But she was like, am I supposed to do it like one per person, one per couple? What would y'all say?
I'd say one per couple.
Yeah, I'd say one per room, but I tried to double up everything I put in there.
Yeah.
Everything, like
put like 2 drinks.
The single stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The cookies I put were like individually wrapped. So I tried to put like 2 in there, 2 Advil packs.
Yeah. You wouldn't want like one water bottle for both people or something. Like you get to split.
Ration your beverages. So if you didn't want to delegate to a hotel and you really wanted to use this to add some personality into the process, what are some ways that you would recommend being able to do so? Mariela, you talked about like your favorite cookies and stuff like that. What other ideas?
Yeah, I think I just wanted to pick stuff that Matthew and I both kind of had experience with, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or they're like somehow related to us. And then I feel like how I decorated them, like I had some girl on Etsy draw a map for the itinerary with all of our different venues on it and stuff. And then I made like this crazy sticker to go on the outside. It's so crazy. I don't know why I used that word.
Crazy.
And then I literally had my mom and Eleanor come over and we assembled them one day and it was terrible. And it was also a terrible idea that we even did that. So yeah, I would recommend getting all of your stuff, like picking it out, making sure it's personal to you, but like, you don't need to get it too early. You do want it all to be fresh.
Yeah.
And like, hopefully you get to where you're going a few days before your wedding and you can spend like the 2 hours and dump them in, or like you have someone who can do that stuff for you.
Yeah.
It's not really hard once you get all like the boxes or bags and whatever out. You just like kind of go through and fill them.
Yeah. Like an assembly line.
That's a point too of like, don't do it too soon. Because if you are putting food and stuff in,
you don't want it to go bad.
Yeah.
And you have to have them. Because remember, I think I did mine like a month or 6 weeks before. And like for a little bit, they were taking up the whole.
Yeah. I remember you said that you were going to use your parents' friend's house or something. You like ran out of places to store them.
Yeah. They were everywhere.
So that was like the plan the whole time. But like we literally, when I was like waiting for that to, take shape, I was like,
yeah,
okay, you're taking over my life.
Yeah. They're everywhere. I think it's always cute when it's almost like you put like the bride and groom put their like favorite things in there. Because like I said, I didn't do them because like logistics and everything. But on our wedding website, I tried to include like a page of like things that you can do in Polly's, like places you can go that like we really liked, just to like have a little personal touch. But I feel like with welcome bags, like with a little bit like, yeah, like y'all really like the Sour Patch, like the watermelon and like, stuff like that. Like if you can just kind of put like a personal twist on it, and then obviously things that people will use, like then it just makes sense. Or like even to tie into the location, like, if Cheerwine is local to North Carolina, like stuff like that. I think that just like makes them cute, but also like obviously people are going to use the stuff in it.
Yeah. Cute but practical. Some other things that I saw was like a little letter or a message from the couple. Again, it kind of sets the tone for the weekend. As we talked about like a local treat or like an inside joke from your relationship. Definitely like the double use items. So like the Advils or like something they can use in their next day. One interesting thing that seemed like a lot of effort, but could be really fun depending on your friend group, was a QR code to like a playlist for people for the weekend.
Utilize those QR codes.
Yeah. Test them.
I actually remember that I had a welcome bag one time and they had phone chargers in them, like the little.
Wow.
They got rich.
I mean, I think they were just like, they probably got
they were like the dollar store ones.
Yeah. But like, I remember thinking that was so smart because of all the times, like either Gil or I, like one of us doesn't have a phone charger or something. So like, I remember thinking that was so smart, but just an idea.
Yeah. I like that. Somebody always forgets a charger when you're traveling.
Literally.
Wrapping up, we talked a little bit about some of the logistics, but what are some other pieces of advice that you would give when it comes to getting them to the hotels, coordinating with the hotels, and just distributing all of this stuff?
I mean, I would number one, make sure and call ahead. My mom did that for me. Thanks, Mom. But I would never have thought to call ahead. And then she found out all these rules and kind of like fees and stuff like that. So I think that was really helpful. And it gave them a heads up that we were coming.
Yeah.
So I think that made the whole thing a little easier too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think logistically, I would just make sure you're in contact with whoever you're dropping the stuff off with.
Yeah, that's smart because I wouldn't even think about that. I feel like I would just show up with boxes and then realize I have to pay all these people.
Yeah, I'd be like, have you done this before?
Yeah. You're like, you want money from me?
Like, you didn't do anything with this.
Yeah, I think definitely calling ahead too, because I think of Jacqueline's wedding and there were like 3 or 4 different room blocks when we got there. And so when we checked in, you could see all of the different like categories of welcome bags for the different weddings. And so,
I thought you meant like Jacqueline had like levels to it.
I know. I did too, like an A, B, C list.
It was like 4 different weddings that were staying. And so you think, especially in peak season, for certain places, and like if it is a destination wedding, you might not be the only people staying there. And so if you just show up with all this stuff, the hotel might be like kind of like get fucked.
Yeah. They might be pissed.
Yeah. And like literally be like, I'm not taking this. And then you spent all of this money and what are you going to do with it? Like hand it out personally?
No, that was the other annoying thing. We did have a bunch of leftovers and like me and my parents and like my family, we were like eating out of them. Like we disassembled the boxes and we put them in piles. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you had to
in the individual boxes anymore. And like,
did you have extras because you made extras or because
we made extras and then I didn't like deliver some?
Okay. Like Airbnb people and stuff.
Yeah. Like Airbnb people. And like towards the end, I was just over it.
Yeah. It was like, if you're not at a room block, like best of luck to you.
I'll see you at the wedding.
And I thought about putting them downstairs at the wedding, but you know, my planner was like way too disorganized for that.
Bless her heart.
We actually thought my mom thought about having some of the welcome bags at the welcome party. And obviously we didn't do that because that would have been confusing. And obviously she delegated to my father, who just absolutely loved running around Charlotte.
I was like, great. I did want to get out of the house, actually.
Go on a little ride today.
Yeah. Make some new friends.
Yeah. I feel like if you can delegate it to someone too, like have a specific person, like, and plan on that like ahead of time, not like asking someone last minute. Like, I don't think the bride or groom, unless they just like really want to, should like have to do that.
Well, and ask your planner.
Well, yeah, not yours, but
planner was willing to deliver them and help out.
Yeah, everyone's willing to do something for a fee.
Yeah.
And I do think there's also like your family friends that are texting your parents closer to that are like, what can we do?
Yeah, like all the people the week of the wedding that like want to offer their services in some way, that utilize them.
Yeah. Well, definitely something to consider is like the logistics of it, because it is a lot of coordination. So if you can delegate that, do delegate it.
Yeah, make your aunts do it.
Yeah.
Literally anyone.
And literally anybody other than you.
Yeah.
Alrighty, girls. Well, that wraps up our gifting series.
Oh, wow.
We did it.
Next week, we're back, or maybe in a few weeks. I'm not sure.
We'll figure it out.
We're going to be back with a guest. We have a special guest.
Yes, we have a guest. We're so excited. And we'll be back to regularly scheduled wedding programming.
Yeah, we're done gifting for the rest of our lives.
I know. I feel like we're never, like, it's going to be a break before we do another series for a while.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
It was fun. I hope y'all enjoyed it.
Yes.
Yes, everyone. Unveiled Opinions podcast. Like, follow, subscribe, download. Give us a
Review.
Yeah. Review. 5 stars only.
I don't want to see any of that 3 or below.
All right. Well, until next time, girls.
Bye.